You're listening to Bowls Radio, where the light finds itself in the dark, and you find your darkness in the light. You're listening to Bowls Radio, where the light finds itself in the dark, and you find your darkness in the light.
second your face I see. 60 minutes of your smile makes me feel so free. Every hour, every moment, I just want you near. Day turns to night, love's crystal clear. 100,000 heartbeats sync with mine. Love so deep, defying time. 24 hours a day, loving you right. 72 hours into the night. A lifetime in seconds, feeling sense of right. Bose radio plays, our love takes flight. 86,400 seconds gone. Everyone with you, our love stays strong. 1,000 years and a million dreams. Forever in love, or so it seems. 100,000 heartbeats sync with mine. Love so deep, defying time. 24 hours a day, loving you right. 72 hours into the night. A lifetime, seconds, feeling so bright. Oh, Bose radio plays, our love takes flight. Centuries could pass, but my love stays true. Eons in your arms, nothing else will do. Time flies blind, it's out of sight. With you, love time's infinite light. 24 hours a day, love and you right. 72 hours into the night. A lifetime in seconds, feeling sense of bright. Bose radio plays, our love takes flight. 86,400 seconds long. Everyone with you, our love stays strong. 1,000 years and a million dreams. Every second counts with you by my side. In this timeless love, we both confide.
Hey, this is Bowles.tv. It's Bowles.television. I'm David Bowles. Here, coming to you live on the East Coast. Looking for a button to push. Ah, there I am. Hello. Nice to see you today. It's some original music for you from Bowles.radio. And some people say, you write these songs and you incorporate your projects. Bowles AI, Bowles Books, ASLopera.com, Bowles Radio. Why do you do that? And I do that because it's a little bit of a protection for me and for the projects. No one can try successfully to accuse us. People can always try. No one can really accuse us of doing something nefarious with lyrics or beats or whatever, because the lyric is very specific to what we're working on. That's why we do that. And you took a look at the new beta SoundCloud interface, which we'll take another look at in just a moment. But first, I tell you, this weather is just crazy here on the East Coast. One day it's 80 degrees, next day it's 50 degrees. Climate change? Sure, why not? New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, we believe in that. Down in Florida, it's against the law. To mention giant climate change, right? And this morning, maybe an hour and a half ago, we had the worst thunderstorm ever. All the alerts going off on your phone, on your computer. Wah, wah, wah. You hear thunder claps in the sky, and you look out the window, and you can't see out the window because all the rain is coming this way. That kind of rain, right? Sideways raining. And it's beautiful to watch from high up in our big building, looking down at the world below. And you think, oh, it's, great that, the windows aren't open, because the windows have been open for a few days because the ugly lantern flies are not here yet. They have not invaded our private space. And you just sit there and you think, how is this possible that it was 50 degrees yesterday, now it's 80 degrees and a big thunderstorm? And then about 20 minutes later, all done. Bright, shiny skies. Are we living in Florida? We're living on the East Coast. Are we in New York or New Jersey? I had a friend who retired in Florida. Used to live in New York, then moved to Nebraska, then retired in Florida. And Marshall would say, it rains every day. They were in Fort Myers. It rains every single day. He wasn't excited about it, but he said it rains every single day, but in 10 minutes, it's sunny. So all day, you're getting these 1, 2, 3 minute rain showers and then sunny skies, which makes for a very, very humid experience as a person, place, thing, or animal, or maybe even a protein. And in the cat world, I don't know if it's true of the dog world, but in the cat world, there's just kind of a saying that you never want to get a cat from Florida if you're looking for cats, which just sounds terrible, right? But it sort of makes sense because of ringworm and other infections that they get because it is so hot and so humid in Florida, and cats have a lot of fur, and they hide their illness as well, that you really kind of don't know what you're getting with a cat from Florida. Now, I'm not a breeder. I had one time in my life a beautiful cat from a breeder who actually is the one who told me, don't ever get a cat from Florida. I don't have a cat from Florida. I'm not planning on getting a cat from Florida. If you live in Florida and you have a cat, I hope it's healthy, wealthy, and wise. But that's the sort of saying, I guess, on the East Coast cattery world. Beware Florida. For more than one reason, right? So I felt bad when the Jana Marie left today because she left looking beautiful and bright and springish, summery-ish. And then, we had this terrible thunderstorm. And I thought, oh my gosh, if this is going to rain like this all day, I'm in trouble because I'm the weather guy. And I didn't know this was coming. Except right before this thing hit for about 30 minutes, my leg, and I have a leg that tells the weather, was getting very sore moment by moment by moment by moment. And then it rained and it all goes away. It's very weird to have a leg that predicts the weather. So what else is in the news? Well, let's go back to this screen where we're hearing the beautiful, lovely sounds of songs from Bowls Radio. Now, we got to see how much of this I can show you and how much of it is going to be hidden because doesn't really want to cooperate very well. Oh, I got to move this. I got to put this here and that there. Meow, meow. Waka. Okay, so SoundCloud. We've been with SoundCloud for 100 years. I don't know where they're exactly based. It's some country like Switzerland or the Netherlands. It's one of those wonderful countries. So, they're up when we're sleeping. So it's really interesting if you need help with something or you submit something to get approval for distribution. All day, you're working on it, put it up, you don't hear anything back, and then you wake up in the morning and everything's done because they're up and working. It's very interesting. And SoundCloud is now a distributor of original music where they will send out your music. And I've used it just as like a entrepot for everything that I have done sound-wise. All my podcasts are there. You can see my podcast gets distributed here, and nobody, as you can see, listens to my podcast. On SoundCloud, anyway, so I have like, I'm trying to think of the number, 1,300 tracks, audio files on SoundCloud. Now, I don't think there's a way to back up from SoundCloud everything you've ever put on SoundCloud. And I have copies of everything I've ever done, but it would be great if you could, like download your archive from SoundCloud and save it locally and then, upload it somewhere else for safekeeping, because who knows what's going to happen in this crazy, wacky world in which we live. And so SoundCloud, after many, many years, is updating their interface. Now, they have a new upload interface. I'll show you a little bit of that. That's very sparse looking. And so is this. This is your tracks, right? This is how regular SoundCloud looks. I mean, the current version of SoundCloud. It looks like this. You've seen this before. We've used it many, 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 many times. And it's all kind of well-designed and easy to read and find. Okay, I like it. So then you go on tracks, and this is the new part that you're sort of, whoops. Okay, I guess you have to go somewhere else to get the tracks. You have to go up to your icon, and then you pick tracks, and then it takes you to the beta page. Okay, here we go. And as you can see at the top, we're making SoundCloud better, but you know best. As you notice, updates, we love to hear what you think. I gave it a little heart, which means I like it, because I do like it. I think it's cleaner looking. You can send feedback. I don't know what that means. Uh-oh. Are you an artist on SoundCloud? How would you rate the new SoundCloud? Anything you dislike? Anything you'd like about it? Okay, well, we should fill this in. Maybe we'll do it right now. We're building a better SoundCloud. Are you an artist on SoundCloud? Why, yes, I am. How would you rate the new SoundCloud Track Manager? I love it. Is there anything you dislike about the new Track Manager? Please explain as much in detail. Love the look, feel, and design. Keep up the great work. Meow. Is there anything you like about the new Track Manager? Please explain in much detail. Cleaner interface. Iconic in more than several ways. Easy to resize. Makes logical sense. Is there anything else about the Track Manager or other parts of SoundCloud you'd like to give feedback on? Yes. If we pay for services, we should be verified with a badge. That's the way of the pay to play world, and it helps all artists become their acknowledged self on your service. I don't know. Can I make this bigger? Oh, on your service. It only makes sense when we can verify on Spotify and Amazon Music and Twitter and Meta, but not here at home. Meow. Can we contact you? If you have any additional questions, please enter your email in the box. Okay. David@Bowles.com. Nothing to dox there. I've been doxing myself online for 20 years. Finish the survey. Thank you for taking the survey. Meow. So I did not know this. This is a new fact. I have uploaded 13,000 minutes. Now, how many days is that? 13. Okay, well, here we'll do it. I was going to look it on my I was going to look it up on my phone, but let's not do that. How many days is 13,000 minutes? 13,000 days, 9 days. Now, isn't that interesting? So, if we played every track that I've uploaded to SoundCloud, it would take you 9 days, I guess, of 24-hour listening to get through it. I thought I had more. Unlimited uploads. And that's very, very important to have. As an ex-pro artist, you can upload as many tracks as you like and share them with the world. Now, the reason that's so important is because if you are not at this level of being able to upload everything you have, then you bump into the limits of what am I not going to preserve, make available on the web. Because with SoundCloud, you can embed playlists, embed tracks. That's what we use on Bowls.radio. I'll show you that right now. And somebody forgot to turn off their phone. Oh, I think it's me. I'll do it right now. So here we go, right? We showed you this the other day. But this is why SoundCloud is so valuable, because here's a playlist that I created that has my stingers in it, which are like 10-second things saying, hey, you're on Bowls Radio, right? Like a radio station. Bowls Radio Dance is the name of this playlist that I have embedded from SoundCloud on my website. So that is really the big beauty and reality of what it means to be a SoundCloud member. Unlimited uploads. I can upload 10 versions of my song. I can make them private. I can share them. I can make them public. I can upload 100 little stingers saying, hey, you're listening to Bowls.radio. Okay? Now, this whole look is very clean with SoundCloud on the sidebar, your home, your feed, your library. For artists, I believe that is the portal where you upload your music to be distributed. And this, I don't know exactly what this is. It's a menu. Oh, it's legal stuff. Okay, so this is the new look of my tracks on SoundCloud. I was invited into this just, I think, by default yesterday, saying, hey, you want to give it a try? Okay, I will. Now, you may be wondering, what's wrong with your Human Meme podcast? Why are you using podcast, not an HD? I don't understand. Well, HD is not an MP3 file. HD is like a FLAC file or a WAV file, that kind of file, right? So if you record your songs as an MP3, you then have to convert them, update them to HD. And when you play, an HD song sounds better, much bigger file, like a 10 times bigger file. Like an MP3 song can be maybe 5 megabytes, and then you update it to WAV after mastering and editing, it can be 300 megabytes. And when you're on Amazon Music, when your songs play on Amazon Music, you get an icon that says this is a HD high fidelity song. So it makes a difference. And when you upload a song, let's say to MP3, you will get a little message from SoundCloud saying, are you sure you want to upload this version of your song? And usually you have two versions. You have the original MP3 version and then the mastered, upgraded, edited version of the WAV file. And sometimes you upload the wrong one. So I appreciate that when SoundCloud says, hey, wait a minute. Why are you uploading an MP3 file? That's for your podcast, which is just, you talking. If you want distribution and to sound the best possible way, upload your stuff in HD, in a WAV file. Okay, and so I did. Now, I do like the bigger images. on the original SoundCloud. This beta version is not quite as visually delightful, but I guess if you hover over some of these images and you have the right software installed in your browser, you can get a better look at it. And then they have a new upload area, so I'll click on upload. And this is the standard upload area, which is sort of all orange. It looks like SoundCloud, if we go back, is getting away from their orangeness, right? There's Billie Eilish's new album was released, and I guess she got her start on SoundCloud, so she's very tied to them, and they are tied very much to her. And they changed the SoundCloud icon from black to blue. Now, it used to be orange, then they changed it to black, and now it's blue. But if you notice on this page, there's not a lot of orange. So maybe they're getting rid of the orange, which I think is kind of a good thing. So you click on upload. This is the standard upload. Now, I used to do the new upload experience, which means it's in beta, right? Open upload. And then I stopped doing that because it seems like they were upgrading things, and you would upload a new song and then it would sort of get lost or be incomplete when you tried to distribute it. So I just use the regular upload, which looks like this. What happened? Oh, it opened my browser. Or choose files to upload. Well, so we're not going to do that, but here's the beta screen for the upload. Now, this is much cleaner. It's very nice. Now, if you're like uploading an album with the old interface, you can pick 10 songs and upload them all at once, right? Which I don't do. I go a song at a time. And this new beta upload page screen only allows you to upload one file at a time, maximum file. Here you go. So for best quality, use a WAV file, a FLAC file, an AIF file, or an ALAC file. The maximum file size is 4 gigabytes uncompressed. So that's a big, massive, fabulous song. And when you're dealing with audio, high-quality audio and high-quality video, you do have to have big upload allowances. And 4 gigabytes is massive. I think the largest song I've uploaded since I started doing this was a long-form song. I think it was maybe 380 megabytes. I think that's the largest one. And then you choose the file, and then you fill in all the details. So this is the way to go, but it's not there yet. So I will continue to use just the regular upload because that's a critical thing. But when I'm just like looking at my elements, when I'm looking at my tracks, right? This, if I want something to play, I don't care if it looks like this or if it looks like my regular homepage, which looks like this profile. So it looks like they're revamping their whole site, and maybe, 3 weeks ago, everything was sort of a mess. Emails were not arriving. You would submit things to get approved, and it would take 4 or 5 days. Usually it takes a day. They would monetize tracks, and they said, you can't monetize this track. And it was very clear that they were having some kind of database problems. And now we see with these beta releases that they are making big changes in small slices of things to come. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I look forward to this new change with anticipation. That's it for SoundCloud. Now, speaking of music, we love the Beatles here, right? We talked about Get Back repeatedly. There's a story going around that when John Lennon was divorcing his wife Cynthia, she didn't get any support or payoff or anything. She got the son Julian that later John Lennon in a drunken rage disavowed. And so she was forced to sell some of her John Lennon memorabilia that she had collected from their early career. And I think she was an artist and made some drawings, is trying to sell them to pay the rent. because she was not getting alimony. And the story goes that Paul McCartney, without telling Cynthia Lennon, bought all of the things that she was selling. I guess it was at an auction. And she didn't know he was the buyer. And so he bought all this stuff, got all this stuff, and then, pictures, records, letters. I guess he had everything framed. Paul McCartney had everything framed, paid for it, paid to frame it, and then had it all given back to Cynthia. Now, some people say it was just one thing that Paul paid for, but it was a lot of money because he was helping her out. Other people say it was more than one thing. It was her whole collection that he, had preserved and returned to her. But whatever you say, it's a wonderful story, right? And two of the biggest collectors of Beatles memorabilia in the world are Paul McCartney and Julian Lennon. And I guess after Julian's dad died, John, Julian wanted some postcards or something from Yoko, and Yoko said, well, you can have them if you buy them at the auction. She wouldn't give Julian anything. And these, I think, were either letters from Julian, postcards to John, or from John to Julian. I don't know, but Julian wanted it. Wasn't asking for a lot. So now, for whatever reason, Julian Lennon, John Lennon's son, probably the second most prolific collector of Beatles paraphernalia in the world, is selling some of his stuff online at an auction. And the auction is $5.29 at 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So today is what? About a week. And these are some of the things that Julian is selling. And you can see the price, and you can bid on it now if you want. Now, I know all of these bids that you see are wink, wink, holder bids. No one of any importance or determination is bidding now. All those people are going to bid 5 minutes before the auction ends, because that's how you win. But you can put in a placer bid and see, if other people initially outbid you. But the smart people are not going to bid yet. They're going to hold their gunpowder, hold their fire, and bid right at the last minute. So Julian Lennon collection, the Beatles black and white cut-out photo. So we click on it, we get a little more information. Is there a story behind it? Yes, here it is. A black and white cut-out photograph of the Beatles. Paul McCartney, George Harrison, Ringo Starr, and Pete Best, without John Lennon, together with a female fan. Well, isn't that interesting? There's no John there. Very interesting. I saw Paul McCartney giving an interview about how they got Ringo instead of Pete Best. And Paul said, well, they were playing, I think, in Germany. And Pete had something else to do or wasn't feeling well. And they all knew Ringo because Ringo was around. And they said, Ringo, can you come in and fill in for Pete for one night? And Paul said Ringo sat down. They started their set, and George, Paul, and John all looked at each other when Ringo started banging on those drums. And they kind of said, oh, no, this guy is really good. This is who we need. And then the ha-ha story of it all is, don't ever go on vacation, don't ever get sick, because Ringo Starr will come and replace you. And that was Jay Leno when he took over the Tonight Show. That was his philosophy. Jay Leno never took a vacation. Jay Leno was never called in sick. Jay Leno was there on the Tonight Show every single night. I think it's very smart. That's kind of a Midwestern value, if you can kind of say that. Or you can say it's a Beatles value. More cutouts. I don't understand why the cutouts are so interesting. I guess what you're doing here is You have John, Paul, George, and then Pete Best. You can buy some gold record albums. Here we go. We'll click on one. Now this is current bid is $3,000, but this is authentic stuff, and there's not a lot of it out there, so it makes sense. Look, I love the Beatles. I want to see this photograph. I want to have this in my home, and so this is the gold record for 8 days a week. And this comes from the record company. And everyone in the band and managers get it. Presented to the Beatles to commemorate the sale of more than 1 million copies of Capitol Records' pop single record 8 days a week. Okay? Now, why isn't this say who it's given to? Well, it's given to the band. And there are a lot of people in the band. They don't do it individually. And then, so there are a lot of records. I don't know why Julian is selling them. It makes you kind of wonder if he's okay. I guess he and Sean Lennon have a very good relationship, which is wonderful because they're brothers. Step brothers, half brothers. They put aside their differences. They talk on the phone. There's not animosity that was sort of, I guess, hinted at or sensed between Yoko and Julian, which is a very good thing that Sean is his own guy. Some more memorabilia from me to you, the Beatles. I guess it's just music, right? Some of the things are signed and some things are not. Let's just see what this says. Vintage music sheet for the Beatles 1963 single From Me to You. So I guess that's an early version of the sheet music. A lot of records. And a lot of these records are this one's $5,000 for Yellow Submarine. Okay, see, if people know it, people want it. Magical Mystery Tour, $4,500. These are starting bids. They're going to go much higher. Did you see Kurt Cobain's famous guitar sold for, what was it? $7.5 million. They thought it was going to go for $600,000, went for $7.5. And then other people are bemoaning, I guess, Frances Bean, his daughter, who was married, and then she got divorced. And in the divorce, the husband got the world famous acoustic guitar from Kurt Cobain that's probably now worth $1 million. People want, and no one's going to play that guitar. I think Robert Irsay is the one who bought it, the guy who owns the Indianapolis Colts. And they're just going to put it on their wall and point to it and say, that's the guitar that made all that music. I guess that's okay if you're a collector. If I had that kind of money, I'd be playing that guitar every day. I'd be playing the guts out of it, as they say. So I will put this link to the Julian Lennon auction on Julian's auction website. Interesting stuff here. It all seems like it's paintings, movie stills, animation stills, animation cells. No postcards, no letters that I see so far. So maybe he'll get rid of some of that later. I don't know, again, why he has decided to sell this. I guess now the time is right. Now, we talk a lot about AI, and there are a lot of big AI friends, I guess including myself, who are very upset with the announcement that came out yesterday that OpenAI, this is not the Scarlett Johansson thing, which seems like it's a big bundle of nothing, that is clearly not her voice that they used or that they are imitating. This is all sort of, I think, invented for publicity on both sides. But the news came out yesterday, sort of late in the day, that Chat GPT, OpenAI, had made this deal with News Corp, where they were going to get all of their internet information, news information from News Corp. for ChatGPT. And people were outraged because if you know anything about politics, Fox News, Fox Nation is News Corp. Rupert Murdoch, Financial Times. It's very disturbing that our beloved ChatGPT and OpenAI is now beholden to News Corp. And I understand they need a lot of money, and News Corp has a lot of money because they tend to make a lot of money by telling lies to people on television and on the internet. And people are saying, why? Why would you pick, if you had to pick a major news source, why would you pick News Corp to be your best friend? Doesn't make any sense. So there are people who are saying, I'm done with ChatGPT. Now I'm going to go give Google Gemini all my money, or even Claude by Anthropic. But Claude has really declined. It has the great ability to be super creative, but it's also somehow bound every day or so to give you a hard time. I guess they think it makes it more human, but when you're trying to get something done and AI is a tool, and your tool decides to have a personality and say, I'm not doing that, that goes against my programming. It just makes, and you're not doing anything. I mean, if you were, tell me how to build a bomb, give me all the curse words you can think of in Italian, make me sexy pictures. Okay, I understand. You would block that. Who wants that? But when you're just trying to write a story or trying to do some research, and you're blocked by your AI bot saying, oh, no, don't go there. We can't talk about weight loss, even though you're, supporting it and a healthy lifestyle. We can't talk about that. I'm not going to give you any of my information because it would hurt the feelings of fat people. That's what Claude does. But the other great thing about AI is access to information, not just for students and universities. A year ago, we're saying anything that's written by AI is an automatic fail. And other universities that were a little more forward-thinking and forward-stepping would say, no. AI is here. AI is the future. AI is everything we're doing. We have to figure out a way to identify it and to help students learn how to responsibly use it, but we're not going to punish students for using AI. And you're seeing some of that sort of boil over and also calm down in the mainstream world. Oh, AI art is stealing. And it's not, and now it's been about a year, and people are saying, oh, I see, okay, it's not stealing, it's more inspiration like human beings do. And now the new thing is music. There are people coming out with AI bots to make music, and there are record companies, I'm not going to distribute that stuff. And people who know say, wait a minute. People have been making AI music for years, and a lot of the big companies already have AI music that's out there. Some people say a drum machine is an AI bot. Another person said, hey, you look at Taylor Swift's new album. I don't know anything about Taylor Swift, so I'm relaying what I've read. That she's given music beds by her producer that are already made, drums, I guess artificially, with help. And then the producer sends that to her, and then she writes her lyrics over that established melody and beat. Now, is that AI? Is that assisted? Does that discriminate at all against Taylor Swift's talent? No, it makes her a more efficient worker. And some people are trying to say, with the release of Taylor's new album, oh gosh, isn't she great? She's just like the Beatles. And those of us who know will say, the Beatles did not get their tracks from their producer and then write a lyric over it. The Beatles pretty much sat in a room together and wrote the songs together and mapped it all out. So don't even make a comparison, Taylor Swift or anybody else, to, oh, we're the next Beatles, we're more popular than the Beatles, we're more powerful than the Beatles. The Beatles changed the way music was written and listened to. That has not happened for any contemporary artist. So the thing that really excites me about AI, as we discussed last time, is its ability to help doctors and researchers and medical doctors find solutions and definitions. One doctor's brain cannot know everything in the history of medicine and then apply it logically to what's wrong with you. But a computer can. Same thing with lawyers, right? Lawyers know the law, but specific law, maybe not all the law or all the cases, but you plug that information into a chatbot that's properly programmed that won't give you stupid, false responses, a law chatbot, and then you're able to save time, money, expertise by having it all come together that you then review and present as part of your case. So the New England Journal of Medicine has a new subscription, and it's called NEJM, New England Journal of Medicine, AI. So this shows right now, right here, that AI is already not only in the mainstream medical world, but it's been there for a very long time. And you would not start a whole new sort of magazine subscription to something that you can't prove provenance and importance. And that's what we have here. We have a whole set of ideas from the New England Journal of Medicine dedicated to AI in medicine. And I'll post some of these links on our Discord server so you can take a look at it. I don't know how much of it you can see if you don't have a subscription, but there's the abstract, very interesting stuff. And we always, for our conversations here, scroll down to try to get the summation. But this doesn't have a summation because it's, I guess, something personal. So this says, my experience trying to break this large language model artificial intelligence system inspired me to consider how such human-computer interactions may not only automate many mundane paperwork tasks, but also stimulate some of the most human activities needed in medicine. With the ability to practice high-stakes conversations in a low-stakes environment, I hope such computer systems will make us better in our next human interactions. And the article goes on. Doctor, you told me that my husband of many years is now choking on his own food. That's why he has pneumonia now. I know he's been having worsening dementia over the years. I don't think he would have wanted to live like this. But the other doctors have talked about putting a permanent feeding tube in him. If we don't do that, we'd be leaving him to starve to death. What choice is there? And then the doctor, responds, sharing with us, I prepared this prompt specifically to challenge ChatGPT. So the doctor wrote that. When such large language model artificial intelligence systems took over the internet by storm in the past year, I immediately imagined the potential medical applications and pitfalls that I have been researching since completing my training as both a physician and computer scientist. And then he goes on to explain the ins and the outs of precisely how you can use a custom chatbot, you can use AI to help you diagnose and help patients in need and in peril. And for many years, especially when Google first made its debut in the world, patients would go home and Google something, their condition, and then bring it to the office with their doctor and say, hey, doctor, this is what Google says. What do you say? And many of the doctors were old-fashioned at that time, very offended. They would make fun of the students who would quote Google. And it was very frustrating because there was, at that time, very good information that was available to everyone and not just the elite and the doctors. So Google, the internet, large language models, ChatGPT has sort of evened the imbalances of knowledge and knowing between patient and doctor. Now, the doctors have access to methods and procedures. They can write you prescriptions and refer things. That's very good and very important and necessary. But that doesn't mean that they need to reject help from outside sources like a chatbot. And we will talk more about that next time. But right now, we're out of time. I thank you so much for being here today. I'm David Bowles, here on Bowles.tv. We took a look at SoundCloud and its wonderful new beta experience. We looked at the Julian Lennon auction, talked a little bit about the Beatles and Taylor Swift, and we began our conversation about medical AI chatbots in the room with you and your doctor. So until next time, I'm David Bowles. This is Bowles.tv. Find us on our Discord server. Hey, we're at Bowles.co/Discord. I just put the link in chat. And I'll see you next time. You know where to find me if you have any questions or concerns. All right? Take care, be well, and we'll play a little more of our music as we find our way in this world. And this time we'll go back to our new view. Where is it now? Hey now. Tracks. Oh, it's up here. It's hiding. Tracks. And then we moved it over here so it fills the space just a little bit better. And we find a song we haven't played yet. We will go with this one. Moment of music. Here on Bowles.tv or Bowles.radio. Take care. See you next time. Bye.
Four walls closing in, our heart grown cold. World of silence, stage, a story untold. Lost in shadows where sunlight don't reach. Aching for a touch, a voice to preach. Then Bowles radio played a sweet refrain. Lifted me from sorrow, washed away the pain. Voices in harmony, a symphony of sound. In that moment of music, true solace was found. From distant speakers, a connection made. Strangers became friends, laughter unchained. We danced to the rhythm, hearts beating as one. Loneliness faded, a new day begun. Bowles radio played a sweet refrain. Lifted it from sorrow, washed away the pain. Voices in harmony, a symphony of sound. In that moment of music, true solace was found. The world outside may still be spinning fast, but in this haven, peace will always last. So let the music play and voices soar. Together we'll find what we're searching for. Bowles radio played a sweet refrain. Lifted it from sorrow, washed away the pain. Voices in harmony, a symphony of sound. In that moment of music, true solace was found. From lonely echoes to joyful sound. On Bowles radio's waves we all are bound. So turn up the volume, let the music fill the air. For in the shared harmony we find our comfort there. Bowles radio played a sweet refrain. Lifted us from sorrow, washed away the pain. Voices in harmony, a symphony of sound. In that moment of music, true solace was found. Bowles radio played a sweet refrain. Lifted us from sorrow, washed away the pain. Voices in harmony, a symphony of sound. In that moment of music, true solace was found.
You're listening to Bowls Radio, where the light finds itself in the dark, and you find your darkness in the light.